Okay, good morning, students. I hope my voice is audible to all of you, and I'll be sharing my screen just right away. Okay. Just somebody write okay in the chat box if you know my screen is visible, if my voice is audible to all of you.
Everything is okay now.
Oh, great. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for saying that. Okay. So we are doing module number 6. In module number 6 yesterday, we started with some discussion about fixed cost, variable costs. Fixed costs are the rent that you pay for your organization. If you have, as in if you've taken a specific shop or a land on lease for setting up your factory or setting up your office, the money that you have to pay for that, that is your fixed cost. No matter whether your company is earning profit or it's not earning profits, these costs don't change. You have to anyway, pay for these things like employee salary. You have to pay loan payments if you've taken a loan from bank, internet cost, and all of that. That's on fixed cost. And variable cost is costs that change based on your sales activity. So so if in case raw material required to manufacture the product. For example, if you have set up a book, a paper printing or a book printing factory, if you have set up based on the demand, based on how your business is doing, you will require accordingly more or less raw material. You'll have to accordingly more or less buy the raw materials. And if you're taking help of daily wage workers, accordingly less or more daily wage workers will be there. Their daily wages will you can decide the daily wages. It can be less or more as per the profit that your business company is doing. That's variable cost. So then yesterday also we discussed something about Y2K problem. Okay, now coming to the benefits part. So our chapter name is Acquiring Information System. After discussing so much importance, how good they are, information systems, benefits, tangible benefits, intangible benefits, something that you cannot quantize, but it's there. We started with net present value. Again, I'll quickly go through it. The whole concept of net present value is that if you are saying that after 2 years, your company is going to generate, let's say, 50,000 profit. But so this calculation you have done as per the current situation of the market, as per the current value of, let's say, Indian currency. After 2 years, by default, it's assumed that the value of the money goes down because of inflation or what all economic changes or reforms or globalization, what all things are happening in the world. So what we say is after 2 years, the value of 50,000 is not 50,000. It always reduces. Maybe it will become 45,000. So if you are saying that today, after 2 years, your company is going to earn a profit of 50,000, that actually after 2 years is equivalent to today's 46,000 or 47,000, because the value of 50,000 goes down. It doesn't remain 50,000. And by value, I mean you relate it with a simple concept of 3 years back, what all, or 10 years back, what all you could buy with 100 rupees. You can't buy that with 100 rupees anymore. The value of 100 rupee has become low. You'll have to spend more money to buy the same number of things because of inflation and the reforms and the changes in the economy. That is the whole point of net present value. So that's why now if my company, this was the example that I had taken, I'll quickly go through this example once again. Year 0, this is 2021 year. In 2021, if you plan to invest 1 lakh rupees on a project, okay, and then you say in 2022, that is next year, year 1, next year, you will be earning 40,000 rupees profit. In 2023, you will be earning 50,000. In 2024, you will be earning 60,000. And then you simply add all the profits, you subtract from the investments, you claim that you will be earning 50,000 rupees, extra. Actually, this will be the profit. So let's, so let's plan or let's start this project. But what is to be done is that In the current year, there is no discount factor. The discount factor is 1, as in this 1 lakh rupees, because इसी साल spend करने वाली हूँ, उसका value तो 1 lakh ही रहेगा. But next year का 40,000 को you multiply with a value which lies between 0 and 1. This is called as discount factor. Now, is 0.91 क्यों लिखा है? There is a way to calculate this also, but as of now, you can understand this is some value which is to be multiplied by the 40,000. Again, for 2023, 0.83 is a discount factor. 2024 plus 0.76 is a discount factor. You multiply discount factors with the net flows, and you are able to actually see कि 2 साल बाद जो तुम बोल रहे हो ना कि तुम 40,000 कमाओगे, you will be actually, that will be equivalent to अभी का 36,400. After 2 years, you are saying you're going to earn 41,500, 50,000. That is will be equivalent to आज का 41,500. And then project profits, if you are saying after 3 years, I'm going to earn 60,000 profit, 3 saal baad 60,000 is not 60,000. It's as good as 45,600. Value of money has come down. So the total present value is, you actually add all of these 36,400, 41500, 45600 together. You subtract them from the present value. This 23,500 is the actual number that you can see that you have got. And if it is positive, companies go ahead with the plan of investing on a project. If it is negative, companies don't go ahead with the plan of investment. So this is one way of assessing the cost. हमें क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं? हम इसलिए पढ़ रहे हैं because the topic name is acquiring an IS. If manager, if all the higher, if managers, if developers, if employees of an organization have to propose to the higher management, CEO, CTO, CFO, boss, we want you to invest on a expensive IS project, they have to do some calculations to prove that it will be profitable. That's why we are doing this topic. Next is return on investment. As you can see, it is equal to net investment that you have made, net gain actually that you, whatever profit that your company is generating because of that specific project, divided by the total amount of money you have invested into 100. It's a percentage value. Higher the percentage return, the better is the prospect of that project getting accepted. That is return on investment. And then there is this interesting graph in front of you. We won't have to go into the details of break-even analysis, but even if you're not, it's not an MIS concept. It is something which is a very generic concept. You should be knowing about it for your general knowledge also. So let's take a look at this graph in front of us. I'll try to explain this to you as much as I can. I've understood. So it determines the point at which the cumulative dollar value of the benefits from a project equals the investment made in the project. On the x-axis, you have units sold. On the y-axis, revenue of your company. Yeah. Let's have a look over at the starting point of revenue and cost. We can see the starting when your company has just started, selling, or it has just entered into the market. At that point, your company is not earning any revenue, right? Your company is actually just investing onto the project. So that's why you will see cost is something that your company is, cost is the amount that your money is shelling out for the project or for the organization to sustain. So एकदम से जब organization start होता है ना, तुम्हारा revenue is 0 over here. And your cost, you can see, has some value because your company obviously has to spend some amount. It has a lot of, there is variable cost, fixed cost to run any kind of business. Slowly, you can see this cost is increasing, no doubt over here. But you will see when the time is passing by, the revenue of the company is also trying to catch up, its revenue of the company is also increasing. But at the same time, the amount of money, the cost that the company has to spend, this cost can be, so as I had told you once, how does a company sustain? It's not always about starting ke kuch saal to profit nahi aa raha hai, right? How does a company sustain? So every organization has multiple stockholders, multiple stakeholders, and a lot of organizations, they take loans from the bank, really huge loans that help them to sustain. Excuse me. All these things help a company to sustain, and they provide the power to the organization to sustain, even if it's not earning any revenue. So what we see is, as the time passes by, revenue of a company keeps on increasing. Cost also, is there. The investment by a company in order to sustain the project is also there. And then slowly there comes a point when jitna bhi paisa company ne kharch kiya hai aaj tak, that becomes equal to jitna revenue earn kiya. For example, if a company has spent, just giving you an example, 1 lakh rupees as of now abhi tak on the project, there comes a point when slowly a company ka revenue profit also becomes 1000. Iske baad, after this point, so at this point, no, there is no profit as such. At this point, the amount of money spent by the company, that is your cost line, has become equivalent to the revenue earned. इस point से पहले तो बेचारा company loss में था, right? Because company kept on spending, but the revenue was still less. As and when both the values become equal, revenue is still going on increasing. And cost bhi apna, if you will see, cost is not the amount of money the organization is spending to sustain and to do the daily operations. That cost is also there. It's also apni taraf se iska bhi ek graph is there. But after break-even point, no, we say the company enters into the profit zone because revenue is still increasing. Now, this is the case where a company started from zero. Company was not a company started making revenue, but it was not enough because investments were too much. But there came a point when the number of or the money spent on the investment became equal to the revenue generated. This equal point that there is no profit. After this break-even point, the profit is actually, we can say, earned by the company. Now, tum bolo ye kyun kar rahe hain? So again, the whole point is this is every organization, as I told you, whenever a proposal is to be made, should we spend, should we even start a specific information system project or not? Paisa kharcha kare ek information system pe ya nahi? ERP software pe should we spend money or not? Let's say. Should we, actually install a new payroll system or not, the computerized system? So the proposal team will sit together. They will make a projected break-even analysis chart. We think maybe after 2 years, 3 years, this break-even point will come. After 2 years, our company will enter into the profit and will earn this much of profit. So that is break-even analysis. So remember this at this break-even point, there is no loss, there is no profit. If you move towards the left-hand side or of the break-even point, the company is still in loss. After the break-even point, the company enters into the profit area. So that is a break-even analysis. You can read about it on the internet. It's an interesting concept. All the MBA people who do MBA in finance or in fact marketing also, this is like the basics. Everybody has to read this break-even analysis. Okay. You can actually get a question in the university like this. I think it's one possible question. How do you different ways of conducting cost-benefit analysis? First is net present value. Second is return on investment. Third is break-even analysis. And fourth is nothing. Fourth is a very generalized thing. Fourth is a business case approach. Business case approach says, actually, what all measures that you are using, whether you are using break-even analysis or return on investment, or whether you are using net present value to justify that why investment should be made on a specific project, you present that in the form of a business case, a case study kind of approach. And you should take care of strategic concept, strategic as in what is the 10-year plan of your company? Is this proposal aligning with that? What is the economic situation? What is the return on investment on this project? Again, commercial approach, affordability to the organization, who all people will be involved in the implementation, governing structure. A very generic way of saying, how do you put a proposal forth in front of your management in a form of a case study, in which you make use of ROI factor, you can make use of net present value, or you can make use of also break-even analysis to strengthen your case. That was all about cost benefit. How do you do the cost benefit analysis? So I'll just, this was one part of your module number 6. Just see, I know you have so many subjects here. You have all your placement preparations also going on. I don't expect you to exactly remember all the topics, what all we are studying. That's why I keep you reminding what we are doing. This was actually our chapter. We started with our chapter name is Information System within an Organization. We started with transaction processing systems. Then we moved on to functional area information systems, sales ka information system, HR ka information system, marketing ka information system, that's manufacturing ka information system. Then I told you how ERP is responsible for, coordinating or leading to better communication amongst all separate silos of information system. That is what we studied. Then I started teaching you acquiring information system and application, in which we majorly spoke about how do you propose that you want your company to invest on an information system. You tell about the tangible benefits, intangible benefits, you talk about cost benefit analysis. That's why we were doing this topic. So kind of our last topic is, but it's still detailed because I was going through the syllabus, I was going through your book. Basic software development, basic system development life cycle, different ways of doing it. There is agile, there is prototyping, there is R&D, all that we have to study. So, and I'm sure computers and IT students already know about this because they all had a subject called software engineering in some previous semesters. And software engineering subject is all about system development life cycle. Yeah, it might be new for mechanical and EFCC students. So now the third part of our this chapter is it's software development life cycle, system development life cycle. I know this is today it's me talking too much. I don't have as such any interesting case study for all of you, but hopefully by tomorrow or maybe in the next week, I'll get some interesting case studies based on SDLC. But today I'll just give you a brief introduction of SDLC. I may end this lecture a little early because actually there is a power cut at my place, but then luckily my hotspot is not betraying me. My hotspot is acting really, it's working really well, and my laptop is also charged, so there is no problem in conducting the lecture. But my hotspot or my if battery power dies, then I'll have to end my lecture a little early. So yeah, now I understand a lot of you must be already knowing about it. So I'll try to go through this topic very quickly, but so that everyone understands also. So the thing is, whenever your company plans to acquire, or whenever an organization plans to invest into a big project, and especially if I'm talking about a computer-based information system, there are two ways to get it done. You can have your in-house people, you can have employees from your organization. You can say, I want to, as yesterday, one of Aditya had given us an example, a lot of companies come up with in-house products. We will develop our own product. If we require something, if we require a business analytics information system, we'll develop it on its own. We won't be outsourcing it. The second way of investing into any big project is you outsource the project. You go to some organization, you tell them these are your requirements, and the other organization makes that product for you. You have to pay for that, and then they install that product at your place. So either ways, whether your company is actually, developing a project for your organization itself, or you are outsourcing the project, every project goes through these stages. Now, quickly telling you, if you are buying an ERP software, which is, pre-built, which is pre-designed, it's set, you are not requesting for any changes or any customizations in the already created product. You just want it to be installed. In that case, only maybe, deployment, testing, deployment, and maintenance will be a part of the project. But if you are outsourcing, if you are starting a project from the scratch, your company has some, your organization is facing some problems, and then you want to come up with completely a new product, and whether you are outsourcing the new product or you are building your product on your own, that product has to go through this development life cycle. Your syllabus says system development life cycle, and on the similar lines, you have software development life cycle. You can use both the terms. SDLC is the short form, either system development life cycle or software development life cycle. So the first step that you see is ideation. Whenever a company plans to invest into any big project, first of all, they should have a problem, right? If they don't have any problem, why any organization would invest into any big project? They want a solution to a problem, that is ideation phase. The second phase is requirements. If your company has decided, okay, I want a solution to a specific problem, your company thinks it doesn't have, it wants to outsource the project, it goes to company B, and the employees of the organization, the CEO of the organization, they talk to the people of company B, they tell them their requirements, okay? And finally, company B, to which the project has been outsourced, company B creates a design, a prototype of the project, and they start developing, they start coding the project, and then they actually do alpha testing, beta testing of the product. Finally, once company B is assured that the product has been completely developed, it has been tested successfully, the product is deployed at your organization side. And obviously, after deployment, maintenance, if there are any bugs, there are any updations, that will be done by company B because you had outsourced your project to company B. So this is, in short, software development lifecycle, guys. I thought, before anything else, I'll just directly take you to this. See, I know this is a very simple kiddish example, but I really liked how easily you can explain any big concept, taking any small example. I've taken this from YouTube. I took a screenshot. I thought I'll discuss it with you very quickly. So you have to assume it's a simple example to explain software development lifecycle. Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so you have to assume that your family is in the business of cake making, and it's a family business. Your parents, your grandparents, they have had this bakery shop, and now this bakery shop is passed on to you, and you and your spouse, they're taking care of the bakery shop, and your sister, your cousins, everyone is involved in this family baking business. So we start from the left. This is the client. Client wants a rainbow themed cake, right? So hello friend, I want a rainbow cake for my birthday. Your brother notes down the requirements because it's a family business, no? So your brother acts as an analyst over here. Analyst is a person who notes down the requirements and nicely writes them down and notes them down. After that, the stakeholders in your organization, because it's a family-owned business, you can see maybe your uncle, your grandfather, all the stakeholders, they all will be called as the senior level people, senior level management people, senior members of the family. They also analyze the details of the cake. Okay, this is what is expected. After that, we have you are actually there, maybe you and your spouse, your mom and dad. Okay, I think, yeah, so they act as the architects or the developers. They find out what will be the, what is the feasibility, whether this cake can be created also or not. What is the technical feasibility? Technical feasibility here would be, do they have enough equipments in the kitchen? Do they have enough molds in which that can be used to bake, and what all requirements? So that is what your design architects and senior developers will do. And after that, your mom is the actual developer. She is the one who starts coding. That is, she starts actually making the cake. And then now somebody has to test also whether the cake has been actually nicely made or not. So your sisters test the quality of the cake. They are testers. They will somehow check whether the quality of cake is good or not. And now finally, cake is nicely being created. Yeah, cake has been packed also. Now cake needs to be delivered to the actual client. So that's why there is a deployment team. So this deployment team consists of a person who will drive maybe and take the cake to the destination address, a person who can drive along with baker and tester, hands over the cake to the client. And finally, this is the client in the end. He receives the cake and he will give a feedback also. He may give a feedback, this is not as per my expectation, or maybe this was as per my expectation. In that case, if the cake is as per the expectation, everything is fine. If cake is not as per the expectation, again, the developer or tester or deployment team, they'll get in touch with the client. They'll be like, okay, what can we do to make you happy? Do you want us to replace the cake? Do you want us to, somehow manage for it? So, if you talk about any basic business, It need not be a really huge big business. It can be a small business also, like this small family business in front of you. There are also these phases of requirement gathering, analysis, creating a design, then finally implementing that, then testing, then deploying. All these are the generic steps. So instead of a cake, imagine an expensive project needs to be, created, or an expensive product is to be created. So this was a very simple example. I just thought I'll relate this with SDLC. Now, I'll quickly come back to this part. So these are some of again, you all must have heard about these terms. When you are applying for jobs also, job profiles are also there. I'm not talking about the entry level job profiles where all of you are, I think junior system engineers, then you become senior associates. I'm talking about very specific job profiles. There are system analysts, there are programmers, there are technical specialists. If you are the one who is actually dealing with the end users at the stage number one, listening to their requirements, you are a system analyst. If you are the one who is developing the code, who is actually writing the code for the project, you are a programmer. If you are a very, if you are a CCNA, let's say a certified person, if you are a person who is good with networks, if you're a person who is good with security, then you are technical specialist. So there are different roles in throughout the SDLC phase. And this is one very important graph. I will put a 2 marks question on this. You will see, first there is on the x-axis, you will see there is an investigation phase, there is analysis phase, there is design phase, there is programming phase, implementation, and operation. As in when the SDLC cycle, goes through all these stages, the involvement of different kinds of people also changes throughout. In the starting, in the starting, what is happening is that you are because let's say you have outsourced your project to company B, and your organization is, let's say, Nike organization. Okay. In the starting phase, company B is the software company which will be making a project for you. Company B has to talk to your employees, Nike ka employees, Nike ka manager, Nike ka CEO a lot, so that they understand what's the problem Nike is facing. That's why you will see starting ka phases mein, there is lot of involvement of a user of the company who is actually, this is the end user who will be finally using the product. So jaise, the software development life cycle goes through the phases of analysis, design, and when you will see this whole process comes, we reach at the stage of programming, or as soon as we reach at the phase of programming, testing, implementation, the involvement of end user is reduced, and your developer ka involvement keeps on increasing. Because starting ka 3 phases, investigation, analysis, design, the end user plays a very important role. Jab tak end user batayega nahi usko kya chahiye, how will you make anything, right? And once the requirements are completely clear, you have the design with you, then your developers, the coders, they actually come into the picture. Developer will be coder, tester, the person who will be deploying the project at end user ka side. He comes into the picture. That's why their involvement keeps on increasing. And in the end, you will see operational maintenance may again, your end user ka again involvement increases, because he's the one who will be your company needs to satisfy the end user. He should be able to use the project. If he's facing any issues, any bugs, then again he comes into the picture. So this is the comparison of user and developer involvement throughout the SDLC phase. So guys, I'll do one thing. I think I'll have to end the lecture here right now because of some issue, some problem. I hope that's okay with all of you. Tomorrow we'll start with the lecture. I have an assignment for you that tomorrow I will be asking you to complete in the lecture itself. And on the basis of your submission of the assignment, I will be marking all of you present. Yeah. So tomorrow, you all please attend the lecture. And Abhi, for because of some reasons, I'll have to end my lecture right away. So thank you to all of you for attending this lecture. And you all have a nice day. Thank you so much. Bye all.
Thank you.